Take it away. Well, thanks. I'm glad to be here. I'm going to be talking about retail social experience, and the headline on this is when you think about social media, don't think of it as some channel you put ads in. As retailers, you should think of it as another environment that you can merchandise and experience around your customers. I'm the CEO and chairman of Liveword. We're the longest-standing social media solutions company with services and technology that help big brands build relationships with customers. Interesting tidbit about me is we came out of Apple, where I built and developed their online community sites in the 80s and 90s, including how we worked with 2,000 dealers in the U.S. and brought that brand forward through it. Here's what's going on in the world. Marketers, 89% of marketers believe that the customer experience will be their primary basis of competition in the coming years. But only 26% have a strategy for it, which means if you make yourself part of the 26%, you have the opportunity to leave the 74% behind you. On the customer side, 70% of customers say they are going to base their buying choices on how they are treated. Not on the product, not on the price, not even on the location, but how they are treated, which we call customer experience. So what does that mean for us? Product-based messaging and competitive advantages, whether it's a brand's product or a retailer's selection or price or something like that, is going to become less and less of the driver. It's harder and harder to reach customers and influence their behavior, so we have to find new ways of influencing them and winning them. We believe that customer experience will be the chief battleground for retailers in the coming years. And a really good example of this that shows it's not new is Sam Walton, who built the biggest retail company in the world. And he says, or said, that the experience that the associates in the store give the customers, what drives their loyalty to come back again and again. And elsewhere in the book, it says the conversation is the big driver. And that's where the profit lies. The experience is created right there on the floor, or if you have a website, on the website. So our big idea is that great businesses are driven by dialogue and relationships, and you can use social media to drive that experience and create a personal touch at scale. So again, social media is not about putting your ads on Facebook. It's about creating a customer experience before, during, and after they come to your store or to your website. And I'm going to give you some examples. First, let's start with Starbucks and how they focus their marketing and their social media on the customer's story instead of their own. And they did that this past year with a campaign. Oh, well, first I should tell you their research has always said, out of the store research, the thing people liked the most was the other people, even if they didn't talk to anybody. So here's their campaign, which starts with its videos, but I've done it this way. Millions of people go there, but it's never been about the coffee. It's about meeting me at Starbucks. And then they sent crews out all over the world, 30, 60 Starbucks in different countries, and filmed people having experiences and what they did and how they shared things and how they met and that type of thing. And you'll notice it never says Starbucks or Frappuccino, but they're there. You know it's a Starbucks. The logo's in the background. The coffee cups are always there. Starbucks is a character in the customer's story, kind of like in the movie Avatar, the planet Pandora is always a character. It's always there. And what happened is the customers picked this up on social media because they got it, that their lives unfold at Starbucks. So here's a woman, and she says, I met my husband at Starbucks. Here's our wedding picture. And here's the pet club group and the charity group. And then Starbucks took those customer stories, put them together on a Pinterest page, and highlighted them. So they kicked it off with inspiration, stories about the customers, then empowered them to amplify it, and then they took their media and amplified it more. Second example, Maxx. This is an example from a few years ago, before Facebook and that type of thing, when we worked with them to build an online community and amplify the shopping experience. And Maxx came to us and said, our customers are putting pictures up online about their deals. And right about that time, with that same insight, they ran this TV spot you may remember.
I just wanted to say that I got an amazing deal on this entire outfit at TJ Maxx. Oh, I always do this. It's just that this is a real designer, not a made-up one. I just feel like the luckiest girl in the whole world.
Save on designer fashion at TJ Maxx, and you'll have a Maxx moment too. TJ Maxx.
So the critical insight here is that customers really like getting that deal, and they really like sharing their deal with other people. One part of that is that at TJ Maxx, people buy like 5 things, bring them home, show it to their friends or sister or brother or whatever, say, which one should I keep? Keep 2, take the other 3 back, and then buy more stuff. It's a fundamental part of the model. So to amplify that online, we built a community website and had like a profile, like a Facebook profile, where the customers could actually load up the pictures of what they bought, like you see here, and let their friends vote on it. So rather than just leave it to do it manually with a few people, they expanded it so more people would do it, more people would vote, more people would bring things back, and everybody would get the idea, and they got more store traffic. In addition to that, you'll notice there's a price tag on there. So we'll look at another shot here. And we actually let them enter the deal. So when you would mouse over it, and it could be your friends doing it, it would flip over. And you could see your deal again, like the woman in the TV commercial. And you could just go back and forth and keep flipping it over and going, look at the deal I got, look at the deal I got. So people, they'll love that. So here they're recreating that exciting experience at home. You do it over and over again. You want to do it more. And the friends would do it and want to do it more. So this is taking the core in-store value proposition, socializing it online so your customers can amplify it for you. Now let's go to Walmart, which is one of our clients. And here the key understanding is that in social media, your customers expect their experience with you on page is the experience they'll have with you in the store, or if you're like a CPG company with your product. So it's really important that that experience on the page be that emotional ambiance, whatever you're doing in your store, because that's what they're going to believe they're going to have. So with Walmart, Walmart's tagline here and proposition is they help you save money so you can live better. And they do that in many ways. And they have greeters and they have store associates like Sam Walton said who talk to you. And at the holidays, a lot of them dress up as elves to help you. And that's a shot at doing community service and then people in the store. So what we did there is we created a program called the Walmart Twitter Elves. And we have, during holiday, at least like 100 of these people online. And they're helping everybody. Some of it is product promotion. Some of it is customer support. Some of it's loyalty marketing. And they're there at a scale through social media, reaching out and touching people individually and really helping them. And in case you were wondering, well, does that really matter? Does that affect people? Does that affect sales? Let's look at an example from just this Christmas. This is like a mommy blogger. And what she says on her blog, not even on Walmart's pages, Walmart read my blog and tweeted me. And then she says, I'm sure they tweet lots of people, but they tweeted me. How oddly cool is that? And she has a lot of people that read that blog. And this happens over and over and over again. So they're able to set people's expectations. We're paying attention to you personally. And then you may say, does this really matter competitively? So this is another example, and there's a lot of these, where somebody in a completely different thread, because of how these Walmart elves talked to them and helped them, said, I'm breaking up with Target, Walmart for the win. And we've seen this again and again and again. I left you, I'm coming back because you're paying attention to me, you're treating me right, you're giving me a good customer experience. So what's the summary on this? Number 1, customer experience is the next battleground. Conversations shape relationships and loyalty. Social media lets you do this at scale. And that's a little bit about our company. We do all this stuff with services and technology. You can see all the retailers we work for. And last, we have a book. I wrote a book on all this, which is available free. I hope we're giving some out, but if not, it's on our website. Download the whole several hundred-page book as a PDF. And now we have time for questions. I can't see anybody, so, but I'm sure you're all there because I hear people laughing.
Everyone is here. I know. The lights are strong. Anyone have any questions? Get things started. Peter, what about those? I mean, I'm looking at some of these here, and you know, something that comes up a lot is like converting mobile traffic and things of that nature. A lot of this social stuff, real good, but you know, what are the secrets to getting it to actually convert?
Okay, well, I think the first thing is you want to not look at the funnel as a linear conversion because it's really moving on multiple other places. And there's a point where to convert somebody, you have to get into the kind of emotional center. And if you're in a physical retail, key thing is when they're driving down the street, do they turn into your parking lot or do they turn into somebody else's first? So you have to have them in that emotional center. And then I think what you have to do is you have to mix emotional marketing through social media with product messages that move them. And I can tell you, because we work for big retailers, you put up a product message, people run into the store and buy it. You have to be careful, though, because that's just a one-time shot. If you want to really keep converting people, you have to put this emotional underpinnings on it first.
Okay, good. Some others? This one right in the front. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, couldn't agree with you more that digital experience, or customer experience rather, is rapidly becoming the key battleground, the key metric to look at. And that was definitely a theme of Tristan's talk and came up in the sandboxes multiple times. How do you advise people to balance the considerations of metric, like email signups and click-throughs and time on site, that a lot of times are kind of counteropposed to what might otherwise be considered satisfying customer experience, right? Like people will sometimes take on metrics-driven activities that don't necessarily have the same quantifiable impact of making people like their brand more, but do have impact that they can measure and report on. How do you advocate resolving the tension between those two, and how do you try to educate people to still be metrics-driven, but also to place customer experience at the forefront of what they're doing?
Okay, well, the first thing is you should have a plan with goals and set measures and KPIs, even if you're going to have to change them as you go. A lot of people, particularly in my area, social media, go, it's like fuzzy and soft and you can't have ROI. That is like so much BS. You should have ROI. We're in here to make money. And you can do it. So number one is set goals. Then I think you have to separate the value of a quantitative impression, which is kind of the reach and the email and that, from a qualitative impression. What's the value of those two posts I just showed you, amplified by hundreds of times to all their friends who will then amplify it more? So you have to separate that. And you have to be fair. It's not like anybody really has direct traffic off of TV or anything like that. They have 1960s models for gross ratings impressions, which mean nothing now. So I think you have to lay out different ones and say, what are we really trying to do? If we're trying to get an emotional lifetime of the customer thing, put qualitative metrics and measure things like how much are they talking about you, and then do surveys to measure loyalty, which is what we do in other media forms, but we don't do it enough in digital and social. And you can get sales revenue. Macy's said every dollar they spend on digital, I think it was pretty much social, generates, I don't know, $7 or $10 in sales within 2 weeks. That's a hard metric. And I can tell you, without naming a specific client, but noting I have the biggest retailer in the world, and I have had travel clients and other retailers and lots of other commerce ones, that when we have a commerce site and we put links into things, we can track it straight through and we can see it. And the last one would be, there's quite a few. Get the book, it's free, there's some in there. You can do marketing equivalency effectiveness, and you can track how much does it cost you to reach people through digital or social compared to traditional, and you'll find it's about 10 times more cost effective through digital and especially social because the customers amplify it.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, Peter, you need to find this person that wrote leveraging social traffic as their #1 challenge.
Okay, whoever wrote that, come see me. And if you didn't write it, come see me anyway, and I'll answer it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, sir. Okay.